Howdy y'all, it's Joe, and here I am again to tell you a little bit about how to improve, and mainly how to improve your aim in Overwatch. And this is especially for characters. Let's go to the characters select screen. For the characters, Widowmaker and McCree. Now this can somewhat help with, the Roadhog shift, kind of, but mainly for Widowmaker and McCree for the Hitscan characters, and it's called flickshotting, which I'll show you in a little bit. Anyways, before we get started, I'd say go to your options, go to your controls, try to have your mount sensitivity at about 1000 to 800 DPI. It makes you a lot more accurate and makes the flicks a lot easier, and as well with that, just try to have your sensitivity on about 7 to 8-ish, wherever feels the best for you. That's just my general tip with that. Anyways, once you get to the characters, of course, you want either your default, short crosshair, or dot. I really like short crosshair and dot the most, and of course also with Widowmaker, there's actually another tip. Of course, you just want default for the most part with her, but as well, you can change your relative aim sensitivity while zoomed. You want to change this to 38 instead of 50. Now essentially what this does is that, when you press right click as Widowmaker, it makes you move a little bit slower when you're looking left and right, but if you turn it to 38, it makes it exactly the same speed as when you're just regularly non-zoomed. So yeah, it just makes it normal speed, so that's kind of nice. Anyways though, let's go a little bit into the actual practices, the practices that you guys can do at home. And before I start, I'm going to say, I'm not the best McCree. I'm probably not going to hit a lot of these flick shots. I can tell you how to do it, I can show you some examples, but don't expect, 100% flick shot accuracy. I'm trying to become good as this character. I'm trying to put in as much effort as I can, but it does take a lot of time and a lot of practice. So that's what I'm first going to say. If you want to become good as this guy, or Widowmaker, it takes a lot of time, a lot of practice, but I will say that it's definitely worth it, as if you can get amazing at these, you just body the enemy team, let's be honest. Okay, but what is a flick shot? Well, it looks something like this. So just look, flick, 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 and most of the time it'll be more like, a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right. It won't be like these giant flicks, unless there's someone like all the way to the left of you. You could be like, bop, 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 and come back. So yeah, that's what a flick shot is. You just quickly flick, and you use your muscle memory to look at where you want to shoot. So normally when you're trying to shoot with most characters, you walk over here, you line up the shot, and you go boom, boom, or you can just try to walk over here, line up the shot, boom, boom. But as you see, it takes quite a bit of time. It takes quite a bit of time to just look over there and to line up the shot. But the thing about flick shotting is that it's supposed to be about muscle memory. So what you should be able to do is, instead of, having to look over there, boom, boom, is to instead just be like walking over here, just quickly look around and turn. So we should be able to do this from multitudes of ranges. But as you can even see from right here, instead of just lining up the shot, I can be like boop, 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 and get some flick shots. So that's really just the beginning of it. You just have to look and quickly flick left and right. Of course, larger flick shots like this are a lot harder, and when you have smaller flick shots like, a quick little flick, it's quite a bit easier. And you do want to do these as fast as you can, and yeah, essentially just look at this. So, turn, quick, and go back. I would say always try to reset to where you were, or reset to kind of similar distance to where you were. And also, a thing that you ought to remember is that it is a lot easier for right-handed people to flick right than to flick left. As you can see right there, I missed a shot. So it's a little bit easier to flick right than left. So you do kind of want to track your enemies on the left side, so then you can flick right like this. So that's just another tip with flick shotting. But yeah, that's the general gist of this thing. It makes it that, you can quickly track onto people, know where they are, and just shoot people. Oh, yeah, there you go. Just get some quick flicks and just take them out. Of course, you can do this from really any range. You could just, oop, oop. There we go. Take them out. And yeah, it's just a lot faster, and it uses your muscle memory instead of your cognitive skills. And cognitive skills, of course, and your cognitive brain takes a little bit of time, to look where you're at, look where you're going, and then shoot. While muscle memory is just literally instant. If your muscle memory is any good, it's completely instant, and you can just take people out really fast. Now, what would I say to actually practice this? Well, I'd say mainly, of course, you can start right here. You can just start looking at these guys, quickly flicking. Try to go to the middle, flick left, middle, flick right. That's a really good starting point. Of course, you can also walk up here and try to flick a little bit. So you can just go like, there you go, flick a little bit from right there. Of course, you can also try to flick that guy. From right here, you can try to flick like that. And of course, when you're doing this, you do want to try to go for headshots. So as you can see, quickly turn. There you go, get the flick right there. You can just do this on most of the places in this practice mode, to be honest. You can just look over there, flick. But I'd say probably the best place to do this actually is in this little area where everyone's walking around, or on this guy up here. Now, a big thing about flick shots is that I feel like not many people are actually good at shooting above, as a lot of times you just aren't used to using moving your mouse, I could say, up and down a lot. You aren't really used to going like blah. Like that doesn't happen in most games. But right here you can say, you can do this. And as you can see, even myself, I really haven't practiced that way too much. I'm not really the fastest at that. But you can easily flick shot that, which is super nice. But yeah, what I would recommend to probably try to do is instead walk into this area and just look around, see all these bots, and then try to quickly flick onto these guys. So you know, just whoop, whoop. Just quickly go to where they're at. You can try to reset to where you were before. As you see right there, I got a headshot. And a lot of the times, once you practice this enough, you won't even really have to think about what you're doing. You just kind of hit them. You just kind of go for it. Oh, and there's a little bit of lag. But yeah, just want to quickly flick. And you also want to make sure that you do have enough space on your right mouse. Right there, what I did was I tried to flick, and I hit the wall. As you could probably hear that right there. But what you can probably try to do is just make sure that you reset your mouse to a medium distance away, because if you don't reset your mouse, it can be a little bit hard to flick, as if you run out of space, you literally can't flick your mouse or else it'll just fall out. So, of course, a lot of times you'll be using more of these mini flicks, which are probably a little bit better, let's be honest, where you're already kind of next to where they are, and you just kind of flick to where their head is, which is, yeah, just a little bit easier, as you guys can see right here. So you just flick, flick, get him, and you don't have to look all the way away from them. You can look pretty close to where the enemy is. Just flick onto that, and walk over here. Flick onto that guy. Yeah, you can just keep doing this really forever. Just try to, you know, practice your flick shots. Try to get it as fast as you can, and just keep getting used to it. To be honest, it takes a lot of time. As you can see right here, I'm decent. Of course, if you want to get used to close quarters, try to walk really close to these guys. Try to look away from them, and this will give you really good reaction speed. Let's be honest, because you could just be like right here, try to quickly turn and shoot them. But for the most part, if you just want to get normal accuracy, just try to look at them, look a little bit to the left or to the right of them, and flick that direction. And as you can see, it'll help you hit a lot more bullets. Of course, this does also apply completely to Widowmaker, so let's switch over to that character. So you go into Widow, and as you can see right here, you can just look next to them, quickly flick. If I can get this. Oh, come on. There we go. So as you can see, just look somewhere. There we go. Quickly flick onto that guy instead of, you know, staring at him. Boom. You know, staring at him, looking over there. Boom. If you can get used to flicking with this, you'll be able to hit a lot more shots a lot easier. As you can see, I could hit that shot really easy. And with Widowmaker, this is a little bit easier. As with McCree, you know, you have to hit a lot of shots in a row. With Widowmaker, oh, this is a hard shot. With Widowmaker, of course, you don't have to really hit as many shots. You only have to hit one shot, so yeah, you can be a little bit more, you know, just wait a little bit longer to hit these shots. As well with that, with Widowmaker, a lot of times you'll have a lot more distance, so you can track their head a lot better. So, you know, you can just look at their head, just tack it a lot better, track it, kill it a lot easier. But yeah, that's the main thing with this character. Especially, this does help a lot in middle range, because a lot of times with Widowmaker, you wouldn't really hit people at middle ranges, especially if you're hard scoping like this. If you're looking at them and trying to hit them, it can be a little bit hard, a little bit slow, while this is a lot faster. And as well with that, you can try to like shift up here. Oh, that didn't work at all. But yeah, try to shift up to places and then get a quick scope. And try to like do this, which of course could be really nice against FARs. There's a lot of situations where this really helps. And I say try to do this as often as you can. Of course, when you're playing this character, you don't have to go for these really far range flick shots. I wouldn't recommend that. You just kind of want mini flicks, you know. Just flick a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. And it is nice to learn these longer range flicks. Like learning this, you know, learning like all the way could be nice. Of course, I'm not pro at it at all, but it could be nice to learn a little bit longer range. But yeah, shorter ranges, definitely easier to learn and to get good at. As far as the exact tutorial, you know exactly what I do. I'd probably start right here, you know, practice this a few times, practice this corner. Well, actually, I'd probably start right here as McCree. Walk over here, flick left, flick left, flick left. Just try to headshot them, right? But of course, with McCree, not Widowmaker. With Widowmaker, you can go do this, that. Just keep doing that over and over again. Then after you get used to that, I'd go right over here and try it a little bit longer range. So, you know, just try to flick a little bit. Which is Widowmaker, honestly, shouldn't be a little bit harder. We just missed both those, but yeah. And then you can, of course, move over here, try to get them in quick succession, especially with McCree. And right here is exactly the same. So you could try to go 1, 2, and then 3, quickly kill them all. Then, of course, I'd move over here, work here quite a while with Widowmaker and with McCree, just to get better at closer range, you know, just get a little bit more shots in, whatever. And then finally, I'd, of course, move up to this guy. This guy's probably one of the hardest things to hit, especially if you're just not used to hitting upwards. But yeah, once you figure out how to do this, once you get good at doing this, it really, really helps your aim. Myself personally, I've gone from like a 20% or 15%. It was really, really bad. McCree hit rate to about a 35-ish%, which of course still isn't the best in the world, but it's a lot better, especially against, you know, smaller characters like Tracer and like Diva. If you can hit those characters, you know, somewhat consistently with flick shots, and if you can get headshots on those characters, you're going to be just completely demolishing. And yeah, overall with this, if you can get really good at doing this really fast, you can just really demolish the enemy team. You can just flick them, kill them, and there's not way too much they can do, to be honest. And this is what really makes these characters good. This is what really makes McCree and really makes Widowmaker good. Of course, McCree is a little bit better right now. But you can just get a lot of damage really fast, tons of headshots, perfect accuracy. It just takes a lot of skill, which is kind of like the counter to these characters. But if you can get good at them, they really don't have much that's bad for them, especially McCree. He's a freaking exam. He's a phenomenal character right now, and really not way too much bad going for him. Anyways, that's all I'm going to say about this. There's really not way too much more. Just practice this, practice getting your flicks, and I'd say probably practice this about 15 minutes a day maybe, before you play any games, and then just when you're in the game, try it. Of course, it does feel a little bit weird. You won't really do that well on the first day, but if you put in a few days, you're going to improve a lot, and if you put in a few months, you're going to get really, really good at this and get super good accuracy. I've only been doing this for about, maybe 2 to 3 weeks, so really not the best in the world. Not even that many. Probably only had 2 years. I've really only been doing this for about 1 to 2 weeks, so of course I don't have that much practice at all. But even as you can see, maybe I'm not the best, but I do have at least somewhat decent accuracy for someone that really never really plays Widowmaker or never really plays McCree. Well, I guess I play a bit of McCree, but for someone that in the past has never really played these characters, I'm doing decent, and hopefully this can help you guys do decent too. And if it does, of course, tell me in the comment section below, and tell me what you guys like to do with these flick shots. And as well with this, if you can get really good at flick shots, you can get a little bit of these trick shots. I'm going to go for one, and then we're just going to end this. So, and I missed it. Okay, whatever. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. As always, leave a like if you enjoyed. And I can probably tell you a few more tips on aiming. There is a few things about this. Mainly, kind of getting used to Zarya tracking and Mei tracking. That's probably the thing I'd next talk about. Tell me if you want to hear that. Anyways, though, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like. Press the subscribe button if you want to see any more tips on improving aim, or if you just like to see improving at Overwatch, getting a little better, or mindset stuff. I go over a lot of stuff like that for, the average player, the player that's, not already pro. Anyways, thank you all, and have a wonderful day.